Okay. First prize. Now, I've been wanting to run something like this for a while. Alright. The name of the game for now is Survival. Okay. Think about that. Alright. Upon y'all doing this, I actually giving Richard found these things. Thank you, Richard. To give you a little bit of a difference if you want to do it. Now,
Praise me.
Yeah.
Praise be.
Don't worry. Don't get stuck on character creation. Don't get stuck on character creation for too much. If you need to, I can help you. If not, after you play a little bit, you can change it.
Okay.
That's fine. There's going to be a period of time where I'm going to be like, okay, you have your time tonight where you can change your stuff. All right. There's 2 different sheets. Depends on how y'all want to do it. Richard already picked his. He's already been working on it. But there's these. There's this one. You have your normal stuff, strengths, skills, merits, flaws. You have, what is that? Morality. You have your equipment, weapons and stuff. No, that's just it's dice mod for your equipment and stuff. That's what pluses you get. But it's for weapons and equipment. Stuff you have. Or stuff you pick up. There's also this one. It's more of a custom work. But you can put background, like what have you been doing? Like what you did before this starts. This is basically if you're like, if at the beginning you're like, hey, I want to play this guy this way. And while you're thinking about something, you're like, oh wait, I made this guy snarky. And you're like, oh, okay. So role-playing hints, goals. Don't worry about that. Notes, stuff like that. The virtue vice, I can explain those as we go. Those are the 2 different sheets that y'all can do. Justin, I'll give you one of each, 2.
No, I'm going to use this one.
And there's spares. Okay.
Which one is this one?
Yeah, I gave him one of each. You use whichever one you think is good for you. Richard, if y'all care, he used this one. It's more familiar with what he's... Huh?
I like the way it looks.
Yeah. It's more...
Well, that's an actual sheet from a book. The other one is a
fan-made.
Yeah, custom made one.
Yeah, you can tell with all the way this is and stuff. It's a sheet you can make in a program.
Yeah.
So, if I did go with this one, could I eventually add a bio or a background to my character or no?
Yeah. You can have it.
You can actually use both if you want.
Yeah.
Just use that one for the bio and stuff, and use this one since the things are bigger.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. What are merits?
I can explain that as
You don't have any.
it's stuff that you can start with, like fast reflexes, striking looks, that stuff like that. Let's see if I can get some hints that work. Yeah. Good, the pink one works. Here, good.
The best thing to think about is what type of character you want to play.
Personality.
Huh?
Personality one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is
kind of like background, and then you build your stats up.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
By the way, playing humans. Okay, so this is I'm not throwing in some crazy shit. You're playing as humans, so don't worry about any crazy.
Is it an apocalyptic world?
I said work on survival. As what you need to know is basically if you went, like let's say right now you went on vacation, camping. You went camping, you went on vacation. Yeah. We're not playing here. This is not the location, although that's kind of cool. This is not the location, but the game. I will say this:
you don't have to build your guy for survival. Build it the way you want.
Yeah,
the way you want to play your game.
I just said that was something to think about. Also, name of the game. Everything that has happened from this point back has happened. All right, so it is today's date. So it's November 16th, 2018. By the way, I would start with attributes first. Whichever one you pick for your primary, however you want to do, is
Well, like I was saying, first let them figure out what kind of person you want.
But it is survival. They're humans.
it.
You're human.
Yeah, you're human. So 5, 4, 3, if you want to do it that way. But for now, kind of figure out what you want to do with your character.
Like for example, mine I made. He's a high school kid.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that. You can do where you're your age. You can do a little bit older. You can make yourself a female if you want.
Which
Like
I thought about.
sexy bitch.
I thought about doing.
You can make a saucy bitch.
I thought about making.
She could look at the
Still might do that. I'm not making a girl. If none of them do.
in the Evil place, the Evil Times restaurant. She could work there. She's a saucy witch.
Okay. I got something in mind.
Well, this is the time to do it.
I mean, and you can tell us, and we can kind of help you build your stats off of it.
Okay, yeah.
Richard already created his, so basically I can help you, he can help us.
Can I hear what they've done with their characters first before I kind of get
Well,
an idea?
he's the only one that's done it.
And Jordan used Richard as a to help him with the game.
So, what if I want to do like a big old like lumberjack guy?
You can do that. I will say this: one of the merits could be giants, and I don't remember how many dots it is. You can have 7 merit, 7 merit dots.
I can pull it up.
Giant is one of them. That means instead of size 5, which it goes from like what you would consider a normal adult to where anywhere from like kind of 5 foot, maybe a little bit below, to like 6'5". Anything above that is considered giant. You get an extra health. You get an extra dot of health, and it doesn't add to your intimidation or presence, but it does. It doesn't actually add dots to it, but
It's Jordan's decision. If
Okay.
he has to,
I'm not telling you right now. Unless you're like the most like unassuming guy, it will add to it. Trust me.
unless you're like, Falkore.
Oh.
Giant is 4 dots.
Okay, so
That's up to you.
where would I go to describe what he looks like on here? In this area?
Oh, what he looks like?
Oh,
Just right on the back. If you want to see if you want to describe what he looks like, on the back.
Yeah, it also says if you do giant, you'll pick up. You get like tailor-made clothes. And when traveling, you'll take up extra room.
Oh.
it's no sweatpants.
So, like, if you were a
Just
giant
stop
and
at
you
the
were riding in
DX
the back
pick.
seat of like a Jeep or something, you would probably take up the whole back seat. So no one else is going to be able to ride except
Oh.
for you, the driver, and the passenger.
Okay, that's something to think about.
Do what you want to do. Right? Like you said, what you want to look like. Go ahead and write that down on this sheet because that's where you're going to go put your background and stuff. Just do it on this sheet. That way, this one, you can write other shit.
I like at least kind of write it down. Y'all can help me make it look nicer, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright.
And Justin, while he's doing that, any ideas?
I don't want to be my age now.
You
want to
said
be
6'5"
45?
is the giant.
Oh, you said 45, I said 54.
What?
6'5" is considered giant.
No.
It's more like, honestly, I think it's more like 6'8" and up. 6'8".
No, 6, it's 7 feet taller.
It's like you almost. It's not that you have that giant syndrome, but you're tall enough where you're
Intimidating.
yeah, exactly.
There are big people that.
I'm not going to make it where you have that giant syndrome that people where they look weird. I'm not going to make it where you look like that unless for some reason you want yourself to look like that. I'm not going to make that a thing you have.
But if I
There
went
is
with
a
giants,
merit you can
are
get
they
called
slow?
hunchback.
Let's not do that.
What is that?
Do they get slower? Are they not as fast?
What's the
No.
benefits to that?
Yao Ming was fast, dude.
Well,
He was good until he got hurt.
He was not even good at first. It took him a while.
Oh, he had a light touch. That was what was weird too. They expected him to come in hammering, and I read up something on him. He had a light touch. It threw people off. And you can do a brief description. And you can always fill out, more details later. Because you might figure out, like, oh, I want to do this instead. So. I think actually that's everything else.
Here, Jordan. So most of these dice, we should all use different dice, different colored dice, so that we know whose is who. Justin, did you bring dice with you?
Can I use mine with this or no?
Yeah. I didn't say I forgot to mention that you might be using it this weekend. I forgot. It's just I forgot it.
I think that's one of mine. That one that I've said that to me.
Somewhere on there. Write down like way later, away from your descriptions. Write down attributes. 5, 4, 3. Skills. 11, 7, 4.
It's on the bottom page.
Yeah, I think. Maybe. Well, we'll see.
It is.
Okay, never mind.
Why y'all is doing that? I'm going to be.
Do I have to give him a first and last name, or can I just give him like a nickname?
You can do first, last. If you want to do just nickname for now, that's fine.
I'm
I think
be
it's
a guy
even on
that's
there.
watched too many scary movies.
He's gonna be like Seth Green from fucking Scream.
Richard's pissed.
Wait, what?
He wants his downtimes done. Watching. Four. Virtue. What other choices again? Virtue, nice. I don't even know what the fuck they mean either.
Huh?
Like, I mean, like the benefits and shit.
Virtue. Whenever you do your virtue, you get 1 willpower back.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. And then vice. Whenever you do your vice, you get all your willpower back. But vice is usually something bad.
Vice is the 7 deadly sins, pretty much.
And then there are merits you can get to flip that around and stuff like that. Which is nice because when we play Vampire, I can watch Jordan be a glutton. All of my stuff back.
Is what I do. I follow my vice more than anything.
Yeah, no. Sorry, that's right. Vice gets you one. Virtue gets you everything, but virtue is harder.
Ivan actually does it the opposite way though.
No. That's the way Ivan does it because mine's flipped. That's why I get
This is split because you're trying to sin, right?
No, mine is flipped because of a merit I have. I have a merit that lets it where instead of virtue giving me everything, vice gives me. Yeah, don't what we're talking about with Vampire has nothing to do with it. That's why I can watch Jordan's character. I also have a merit where I can watch someone fulfill their vice, and it would.
Can I give him an accent?
Play him how you want. Man.
Okay.
Freedom.
You don't?
That was on one of the joking magic cards I said.
I think the best card that was played last night was that presidential debate. I think that was best.
Yeah, it was. Let's talk about the shootings that are happening in schools, and then the next one was 2 gravestones, and then the next one was it was a presidential debate.
Yeah, because I did that to throw them off. I think I did that.
Huh. Well, I did the debate.
No, I said I did the RIP to throw them off.
No. The RIP I think was what I don't remember. But it doesn't matter. That's the only argument I'll ever see. So that's the only argument I'll ever see.
Was attributes was 5 foot.
By the way, Ginger, this is used for me to help paint a picture for you, like where y'all are at and stuff like that.
Wait, it's already starting with 1. Why would it be 5, 4, 3?
That's
That's
more
starts
dots you
with
can
1.
put in there.
Yeah, it always starts with 1.
That means you can put 5 more dots, just wherever
No,
you
it says
want.
the last one counts as 2.
If you feel like if you went 1, 2, 3, 4 to like get 5 in 1 stat, this would also take up your 5th and 4th dot.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah.
Okay.
See this guy. I evolve that slug, turns into the giant form. And then same thing, turns into giant Piccolo Jr.
Oh, health equals stamina plus size. Oh, I'm size 5, right?
Yeah. Oh, what are you doing, Justin? That's more than 5 dots.
5, 4, 3.
Yes. 5 in 1, 4 in another, 3 in the last one. You put all of them into strength. Like,
Strength,
all
dexterity,
12.
stamina. I don't remember that shit.
It's got 5 dexterity, 3 strength, and 4 stamina.
You've done more games than Richard has. You should be
I
okay.
don't remember that shit. That's one of the weird rules.
That was so funny. That's all your dots right there if you have 5 dexterity. That's all your dots for that one.
Okay. I erased them.
I'm just telling you.
What am I?
And your defense is the lowest of wits and dexterity. So if you're putting 5 in your dexterity, then you have 5 defense.
No, that's not why I did it.
Don't worry, it's going to be a slow start, so you'll be okay.
Okay.
So they all start at 1, except for the ones you put it in.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can take, like this one, you can take that off and put 2 dots in stamina. Because the last dot costs 2. I mean, he can be at 4
I thought
dexterity.
I could only do 3 different attributes.
These are attribute sections. You put, like, if you want this to be your primary one, you have 5 dots to split between all these. If this is your secondary, you have 4 dots to split between all these. God, it's a good thing I'm helping. This motherfucker be coming in with a season 2 vampire character.
Well, shit, I don't have like
I
much.
didn't,
shit.
when I said that I would help him and you'd help him, I didn't think I'd actually.
I didn't think I'd actually be helping.
Yeah.
I was like, sweet, I'm gonna play my game. I was like, I got time off.
Everything going good over there, baby?
Yeah, I got some in mind. So
Okay, that's good. That's a good thing. When I created my character, my very first character, because technically the third game we played when we started Vampire, I'd already played one thing of a normal human game, which is what we're doing right now. And I had done a hunter game, which is an evolved.
My sheet's been sitting up here the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, just look at the top sheet, Justin. After the first and second game, where I was playing the guy that Ivan created for me, I had a specific in mind what I wanted to do, and I created it.
And it was still wrong.
No. It worked out really well. I've gotten the results I want. I've gotten the impact that I want.
Yeah, and my vampire character, no one knows it, but I actually made it 3 times over the first 3 games.
Really?
Yeah, because I
It
made
seem
him.
like something changed.
Well, no, the stats changed, but not in. Like after I played, like I made my character, played the first game. Then I went home and I looked at it and I was like, okay, now that I understand how it works, I remade the character like knowing like what roles for what. Because whenever I made my character, I knew nothing because I had just talked to Ivan on on Facebook.
I've just slowly been increasing the stuff
I
want.
Then after that, after the second game, I went back and made him again, knowing how experience worked. Made it to where I got the most out of the dots.
that truck or a person?
It's someone driving down the road. Is the door shut all the way?
Yeah, I pulled over there.
Okay. It should be fine then.
Okay, beat him to death with this cool
I'll
microphone.
beat him to death with this fucking half-drunk beer.
I beat him to death. That big
Ginger,
ass
I'm
metal
light.
buckets.
Look a little light here. No, it's fine. It's half full for now.
Jordan, someone threw a dice through the window.
Yeah, I did have and I told Justin about it, but I'll tell you later. Ginger.
Probably wasn't listening.
What? No, you were. I was telling you what I was running with Richard last night. Did a little bit more today. I think it went well. It was interesting. Oh, you're fine, man. The more you do on this, the more that you kind of like picture yourself, and you kind of what? It's recording. I know. Or this is by the way, this I'm recording files. This I'm actually not recording. I'm recording the whole thing. Excuse me, but not in one continuous loop. Like when we're finally done creation, I'm gonna stop it, save it, and then start another one.
So what merits can I do?
Are you finally done? Not
You
cheating.
need to do skills.
Yeah.
too.
Do your skills first. That'd
Because
be
the
easier.
merits you buy, or the merits you get will need like you to.
You might want to work on specialties before that too. After you're done with skills.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to think of a name for him. No, I was gonna do a nickname Red, but I
You don't actually have to name him yet if you want to do other stuff. You might.
we could just call him AU.
You could go by nickname.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to have a full name yet. Yeah, if for
I have
instance,
a full
like
name.
you buy something, you just show them your ID. You're like, okay, they don't have to say, hey, is your name blah 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 blah. You know, I don't have to do that.
My character's gonna walk up to Ginger and I'm gonna introduce myself.
My name is.
He goes. Friends call me Red. I'm gonna go. Why ain't your friend? So what's your
It's like my name is Velana. They say my pussy is as tight as the England Tunnel. What? That's right. I've taken 2 men inside. Wow, that's a lot of room for some dicks. What? No, I meant 2 men.
Tomorrow. Get the mushroom. You remember how the skills go, right, Jeff? 1174.
He says that after like erasing like 10 dots. So your attributes is more like, you know, general stuff. Skills is more like you have more specialization in certain things. Like say you're strong, right? Let's say you're strong. But for instance, like because you're a lumberjack, you're actually people would expect you to be, you know, a little bit better at like because of your size. They may think that you can like throw down in a grapple or like you can like wrestle or like box them. But you're actually if you like pick up a stick, you're better. Like you know, that would be the difference between brawl and weaponry.
Well, brawl would be a stick. Weaponry would still be a stick.
That was that's what I said.
I thought I was like,
Who's happening?
That's why we're here.
I have to watch Jeff. I know he's gonna play.
That's fine.
Okay, specialization.
Specializations you get 3.
3 total.
Yes.
Okay.
If for some reason you if for some reason you want to lower your morality, I will give you a extra specialization for each morality point you drop. Ready to start?
Can I say horror related?
I would say do horror movie trivia or something like that. Because that would be it, I think.
Or
Horror movie aficionado.
I also,
Horror movie aficionado.
Well, I also added.
I approved it right there.
I also said games as well. Horror movie and horror game.
Put
Horror.
Cult classic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a flaw form.
Okay, I already wrote horror.
At this point, you actually don't have to have a flaw. Flaws are stuff you gain during game.
Or you can choose to gain it to get something extra.
Yeah, but you have. Yeah, if you want.
Well, there's some flaws that give you stuff. Like if you took something that made his face all mangled, you could get bonuses to like intimidation.
Well, I mean, if you got injured or something, you could do that. Just keep in mind that it might, depending on what you do, I'll tell you if it'll like negatively impact something.
Yeah, like my guy
Like if you get fucked up in
when
the,
it's mass, I throw composure right now.
if you for some reason took like you said you're a lumberjack. If you took like you were cutting something and something whooped up and ran across your face, you have a big scar. You have bonuses to like intimidation or presence, but you have negatives to like socialize and persuasion and stuff like that. So they won't always be a double-edged sword like that, but just take that into account.
For attributes, says 543. So
Okay, so the way that works is okay. Let me see this. All right, so
Okay, for drive, I put stole the car window. So he has a little bit extra skill. It's a +1.
so you're in specialty. That's what your specialty is.
No, specialty.
No, specialty is just like
It's
like
you would
cars.
put, like if you're like a
or automatics or something.
Yeah, like you get a specialty in like a certain kind of car.
Okay, so this is your mental. All right. So intelligence.
Well, specialties are really specific.
All right, I'm gonna try. I'm getting distracted. Intelligence is your natural intelligence. Okay. Wits.
Sometimes it's better to be witty.
Stay on that side of the room. Wits.
No, I'm telling the truth.
Okay, wits is more crafty.
Okay.
Resolve is how your fortitude and your mental fortitude when you're in a bad situation. Make sense?
Trying to handle
Like
situation.
no, it's basically like that. You're like you have something and you stick to it, right? Okay. Physical. I mean, it's easy. Strength, how strong you are. Dexterity,
Off-road,
how limber you
Yeah.
are, kind of. Stamina, how hardy you are. This is like your fortitude. Yeah. Stamina is your health pool, basically. It's also other things like it's your fortitude. Like let's say the air goes out of the room for some reason. All right. You have to roll stamina to stay where you're not passing out. Okay. So it's more than that. Just I'm telling you. Yeah. Presence. That's if you walk into a room, the higher your presence, they'll notice you. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you're giant. Like I said, it won't add to it. It'll add to it. Manipulation. How good you are at manipulating people around you. It's real easy. Composure. How cool you are in a crisis.
Stealth.
So how do I go about
What about it?
distributing points?
What can I say for a specialty?
A specialty in stealth?
You could do hiding, sneaking.
Don't want to do hiding or sneaking.
Precise, just put
I didn't even think about hiding.
I'm sorry.
Make
I mean,
it
sneaking
6
would be
precise.
like your stealth while moving.
Size. That's
You know what?
no. That's like if you pick giant, that means your
I
size.
mean,
is
obviously you can't stand out in the open and say that you're.
But you have to. If you do, if I will say this, you before you write down size, you're gonna have to do your merits. Before you do your merits, you're gonna need to do your skills. Before you do your skills, you're gonna need to do your attributes. So do your attributes first.
So for the attributes, it says 5, 4, and 3. Is that
Okay.
5 here, 4 here, and 3
Well,
here?
oh no. Whatever you want to be your primary attribute.
Category?
Yes, primary category. That's what you have 5 dots in. When it says 5, you can say like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Like
5.
this
Yeah,
section can be 5, that can be 4, that can be 3.
exactly. All right, or 5, 4, 3, 5, 4. However you want to do it. You're a lumberjack, most likely. Although the way you could go do a turnaround of it, people don't actually realize you could end up actually being 5 over here, but you have specialties in what you do for your job, so counteract, So you don't actually have to, like, for me, even though like my guy's super strong, I actually did social, surprisingly. But anyway, yeah, but there's nothing wrong with doing it in that. Trust me.
So Jordan, here's something. I want it to have a specialty in larceny. I want it to be
You could do lockpicking.
I want it to be whenever I'm trying to take something that I don't own. Not as in that's his, I don't own it, but as in like if I have a gun and I go to steal someone else's gun, I don't get the +1 because I already have a gun. It's as in like something I don't have. How would you say that?
Like you steal
Mine
something.
now.
Like to be able to pull off like stealing someone's gun that looks like yours?
No,
What
no,
you trying to say?
no. Like, okay, like if I went to steal someone's gun, steal a gun, but I already have a gun, I wouldn't get it. If I didn't have a gun and I went to steal it, then I get a +1. Can I put like greed or something? We'll just have it count as that. I'm trying to write something short, so I'm not writing a paragraph in a place.
And this is for larceny.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I was thinking of larceny.
What would that be called?
Oh, greed, pretty much.
What's that?
It's not a fucking vice, Justin.
What's the disorder? Where you want to?
Oh, that's shit. Kleptomaniac.
Yes.
So that's a flaw. That's what you're trying to do. You're doing a flaw, not a specialty.
No, I'm doing a specialty. Where I get a +1 whenever I'm trying to steal that stuff.
Technically a flaw.
That is a flaw, but if you do it as a specialty too, that'd be cool. But
Well,
if you
that's what I want to do.
yeah, do a flaw, but you're gonna probably if you do klepto under specialty, you're gonna have to do kleptomaniac.
I am going to
When you
I
have
got
to
no
have
matches.
You're done with your
I don't know how
attributes?
to spell that.
I went a little crazy with
I don't know
that.
how to spell it.
No, it's not. There's nothing crazy with that. Did you saying your size and everything?
PT.
That makes no, dude. That makes sense.
No, I think
That makes sense, and it actually
No,
looks
no,
good, dude.
no,
I like
he
that.
said if I get
All
it,
right.
I have to take
Now your skills. All right. So it's. I'm gonna double check for you.
I think it's 1174.
He said to take a flaw, you have to do something.
All right. You skills. You get. It's when after you pick your primary, secondary, and tertiary. It's. Then you can get 3 specialties. But to start with, you pick. Now remember what. And if you have any questions, I'll tell you what these do. Okay. But there's a lot of categories. And it might be where you're like, okay, I'm going to be physical, but then you look and you're like, there's not a lot on there that I want. And then you'll see, then you'll realize it's like if there's a lot of categories under another one that you may want to do one of the primaries. So you have 11. If you pick after you pick your primary, you have 11 dots to put into any of that category, and then you have 7, and then you have 4.
Well, I kind of wanted to make him for his good, like, keep him with his personality wise, with hunting and fishing, so he's good with survival, he's good with animals. I wanted him to also be able to.
Well, there's
work
animal
on-
kin, right?
And also, you don't
wanted
have
be
to
able
have
work
the
with fixing
same.
things.
You don't have to have the same things as your, like in your attributes and your skills. You don't have to have the same things as your primary. Like
Yeah. If you're primary in strength, you don't have to. That's what I was trying to tell you. If you're not primary in strength over here, you don't have to be. You can be primary over here instead. Like this is strength, but you don't have to be primary if you're.
So what about for fixing things? Is that crafts?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
that
more
would be
crafts.
craft.
Yeah, like here's an example. I want it. My dude's a like high school jock, so he would be good in like strength, but he'd also be good in like social, setting. So what I did his primary in his physical attributes, his secondary in his social attributes, and then down here I did his primary and social to make up those extra dots that I didn't get up.
Yeah, and plus because of what he was doing, it worked a little bit better.
So
you only have a couple things.
since I did kleptomaniac for a flaw, can I count that klepto's specialty as the bonus I get for it? Yeah. Okay. So I still have 1 more.
Hey, see, I told you.
I'm gonna have 6 specialties.
Yeah,
So
he went down
brawls for
morality.
fighting?
Huh?
Brawls
Put
fighting?
down morality.
Brawl is bare knuckle
He's like
fighting and grappling. It's unarmed fighting.
That's what brawl is.
What's athletics for running?
Athletics is not just for running, actually. It's for running, jumping, staying on your climbing, staying on your feet.
Movement.
Wait, staying on your feet, but also trying to do something like throwing will also be dex athletics.
Also, jumping
I just
and
said
then landing.
that. Yeah.
That is 2 different. Like if you'd have to roll, that is 2 different rolls because you have to do athletics.
But don't take that into account. It doesn't.
What's larceny?
Larceny is like stealing, more like picking locks and stuff like that. Although we'll say that's more of like the subtle art. You could break down the door and just steal shit. That larceny is more like trying to do it without no one noticing. There is other stuff with larceny, but
Also,
that's the easy one.
also trying to hotwire a car. That's also larceny.
Okay. So for the social section, I need help with what these are going to go into category wise. I want the animal king, but the other ones I don't know what's actually going to.
Empathy is more like Ginger.
What?
Be like, so that present you bought me, you said it cost $40, right? No. You told me it cost $40, but it cost $20.
Oh. Okay.
So it cost $40, right? And you're like, yeah. It's like, are you telling the truth? Empathy is more like reading somebody, right? It doesn't mean like it's just a truth teller, but that's an easy way to say it. It's more like reading someone's emotions. All right.
Yeah, he did it kind of weird.
Shut up.
Empathy for me, I feel I genuinely feel bad if you tell me that you've had a bad day.
Yeah.
You're able to empathize with them.
But you can read someone else's emotions, but you're also in touch with your own.
Yeah. I will say empathy is you're very good at telling what other people's emotions are.
Yeah. All right. Mechanically, yeah, that's generally what you use it for. Expression. It's more of like how easy you're able to come across on like being able to. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the difference between persuasion. You're like telling other people stuff. Persuasion is more like trying to convince people. Expression is more like saying a speech. Yeah. Intimidation, easy. Yeah. Do I have to explain that one?
No.
Okay. Socialize is more of just like how good you are at talking to people. Blending in.
Blending in, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Socializing also, it's not empathizing, it's not anything. It's basically if you're trying to.
No, there's some people that just aren't very, they're not very good at socializing. Like, you speak people that he's kind of weird. He's low in social life. We're good at it. Streetwise.
I'm extremely good.
So I need to explain that one? Okay. Subterfuge. Subterfuge is more like when you're trying to trick somebody, when you're trying to do something where nobody knows it. But it's more the social aspect. So it's more like you're trying to lie. That's a
subterfuge is the person.
It's
in
when
like
you're
the Ocean's movies that is out there in front of everybody and not being suspicious.
You're trying to get away with something while you're talking.
What's popular?
What's what?
What's below medical?
occult.
Occult.
Yeah, that's in the supernatural. Like how much are you knowledge of the supernatural, whether reading, watching documentaries and stuff like that.
If, for example, if you know only one, you would probably know what.
Oh, I saw that Supernatural, or I saw that episode
you would
one
know,
time.
Like, oh, I've heard of witches.
Yeah, like
and
you
stuff.
were one is like really low. It's like more like I don't watch those shows, or
Honestly, 5 is probably like you religion. No, not 5. Sorry.
No, one is I've watched those shows, but I didn't really like.
That's one way to take it.
5 is more than just watching.
Can you bring that up over time?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. 5 is not.
Would y'all be humans though?
Tell them the XP cost so they know.
I will.
That also helped me.
5 would be more than just like streaming Supernatural and stuff. It would be knowing history and all this stuff. You would, and 5 in occult is basically you're a
professor.
You could be a professor.
What about a
in
1
the
for
occult.
investigation?
1 second. So these are 3 times per dot. Basically, that means that if you didn't put anything in academics, for instance, but you wanted to spend experience on it, you spend 3 experience here, and then the next dot would be you spend 6 experience. It's not another 3. It's 6, 9, 12, 15. These are 5 times per dot, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So if you spent, or like, okay, I want to buy another dot of this, that's 15 experience. Then another one, that's 20 experience. So you just spent 35 experience. Anyway, that's out of the way. What were you asking?
That's helpful to know if you know that you're going to be like a melee fighter. So you put all the dots you can in straight.
All right, so what were you asking?
What happens if you have a 1 for investigation?
1 for investigation? You don't take a negative when you try and do that. That's mechanically, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Because this right here, you have big negatives. These are -3s. These, -1, -1, if you don't have anything in it. But investigation, it's when you're looking around, you're looking for something's fishy, or you're specifically looking for something. Investigation's good. 1 dot in it is fun.
How about medicine, though?
Medicine, for humans, is pretty good because you can't heal like a werewolf. You can't heal like a vampire. Basically, it means 1, you have a knowledge of. You should probably put alcohol in that. You don't know how to stitch anything up really, and if you
just know put a Band-Aid and
it would give you pause. Like if you have a big cut, you probably don't want to stitch it up because you think it's gonna make it worse. You're gonna literally just rip your skin.
I'm going to put in that one.
Another 1 dot, you might be like, I probably need to wrap it, but you're not going to have any skill in it. But having 1 dot, definitely good. But if you want more, that's good too. And you are a lumberjack. You've probably been hurt before, so having a little bit of knowledge of that's not bad. I mean, it's not like you're something else, but it's not bad.
Okay.
You probably cut yourself before, so people have seen you like cut yourself and they're like, whatever. You pour some whiskey on it and then just fucking like wrap a shirt around it and tie it so they know you have a basic knowledge of a tourniquet.
It says plus 3 specialties.
Are you done with 1174?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Specialties. Like, for instance, you have brawl. Brawl, you could say. Brawl, you could say that you're good at boxing. Yeah. Or something like that. Like you're good at unarmed fighting, like bare fist, like he said. Not boxing.
Right, bare fist right here?
If that's what you want to do, you don't have to do that. There's others.
Or if you literally carry around bare.
I was going to say, if
anyway,
you have a hatchet.
Do your sheet.
So basically, pick a specialty for each one.
No, you have 3 specialties. You can pick 3. Now you could do multiple specialties for each. For brawl, I'm just using an example, not saying that you have to do brawl. You could say you have a specialty in grappling, you have a specialty in brawling, and you can have a specialty in like kicking. You could do 3, but think about as your character what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because
and just know you're only going to be using one of those. Like if you punch someone, you only get +1.
It gives you basically specialties give you a +1. That's what a specialty is. If there's something that
a little bit more knowledge.
If there's something that you're wanting to put a specialty in, you can ask me, hey, what are some of the specialties that I could do for this? I'll tell you. So look through and see what you think that you would have a specialty in. You're talking about crafts. You're working on stuff. Maybe you're good at woodworking. Huh?
For intimidation.
Intimidation? Stare downs. If you're good at now, what I'm saying is stare downs because I have it. I use an example. If you're that guy that he's not.
It's a list of all the specializations.
Okay.
And under which thing.
Alright, so let's say for instance you do intimidation.
Okay.
Alright, your guy is, like, somebody says something to him, you're like, hey, can I be helped over here? Been waiting like 15 minutes. They're like, will you hurry? He's like, dude, will you shut the fuck? And you're like,
Okay.
that's a stare down. But you can also do threaten, where you have when you threaten somebody in intimidation, you're better at it. There may be stuff I can do that's not even on there.
I have under intimidation on my vampire, I have physical threats. So if I threaten someone and then physically hurt them, I get a +1 on the physical on the attack roll. Yeah, Ivan told me I could do that. He actually came up with that.
Cool.
Justin, you done with your character?
I got on my dog.
Did you do merits?
No, you told me to wait.
I told you to wait until after your specialties were done and your skills.
What merits are there?
There's, if you want to do, remember common sense and ambidextrous are creation only.
Common sense is 4 dots, just to let you know.
And you can do 7 dots on merits.
What
There's
is
fast
the
reflex.
benefit to having common sense?
Well, obviously you don't have common sense, otherwise you would know what the benefit of common sense is.
It's a
I meant in the game.
it's a storyteller thing. If Jordan, like if you have common sense and you're about to do something, and Jordan thinks your character would,
Like you go to jump a
second guess it.
fence. Like you go to jump a fence and you know it's a secure place.
Yeah,
Your common sense would be like, wait, I want to make sure that this thing's not electrified.
well, Jordan would let you roll something, and he would tell you, like it might be electrified. There might be a dog in the yard.
Ambidextrous, how many dots is that?
He looked it up. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was.
You didn't give it to yourself, did you? I thought you did it.
No. I think it's I want to say it was 3.
So for the brawl, I can do bare fisting.
If you want, don't write it like that.
Yeah, just put fist.
This.
Yeah.
And someone put boxing.
Well, you can do boxing, but there's
Unarmed?
Boxing is technically a
Unarmed.
fighting style.
yeah, there's
So
a
2 unarmed fighting. Write that. Unarmed fighting.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'm done with specialties.
Let me make.
You already finished them all?
I got automobiles, unarmed fighting, and stare downs.
Okay. Now, next you have merits. Now, I'll tell you like I told
you don't
Justin.
suffer the -2 penalty.
There are 2 that are specifically creation only. When you create your character, that is when you can pick them up. Otherwise, you can't get them ever again.
Yeah, because you
It's-
don't learn common sense.
Yeah, it's something you were inherently born with.
Yeah.
Now, common sense is 1.
Here, let me read off exactly what common sense says. Your character is exceptionally grounded and pragmatic, and can usually be dependent upon to make sound and straightforward decisions after a few moments of thought. The storyteller can make a reflexive wits plus composure roll once per chapter. You can probably do it once per game, I guess, or well, whenever you want to. For your character, if he is about to embark on a disastrous course of action, or if you find yourself at a point in the story where you are completely stumped for ideas. If roll succeeds, I best do that for us. Now that I think about it, because there's like times where we're just sitting there. He goes, "Okay, give me this roll." If the roll succeeds, the storyteller may point out risks of a particular course or suggest the possible actions that your character can take that might get events back on track. While you are free to ask the storyteller for a common sense roll when you're out of ideas, he is under no obligation to comply. It's an aid, not a crutch. Available at character creation.
That's common sense. Now,
now that is 4 dots.
So
that is 4
okay,
of your 7.
So you only have 3 more.
all right, hold on. Merits, you have 7 dots that you can choose from. Now, there's 2. The common sense is 1. That's creation only. The other one is ambidextrous, which you know what that means, right? What? Okay.
Eidetic memory. Thank you. Ambidextrous means that you are, if you're like, okay, you go to pick up you have a baseball bat. For some reason, let's say you're handcuffed or this arm's broken. Like, okay, cool. You're just as good with this arm.
You're not right-handed or left-handed.
Or you can use either hand as effectively as you would be your primary.
Okay.
Eidetic memory means that you don't forget anything. You have that is a different way. It's kind of different, a way of saying that you have photographic memory.
It's like Sheldon. You remember everything.
Now that's creation only. That does. I'm not saying get them. I'm just saying that if you don't get them now, you can't get them ever.
For example, say it's a few games from now, and I'm like, hey, Jordan, like he says something. Didn't I talk to this one guy about such and such? And he goes, roll to see if you remember it. I roll to see if I remember it. And if I succeed, he goes, sure, you remember it.
You don't have to do it.
You have eidetic memory. You're like, I know I talked to that one guy about it. And
what did he say?
Just for example, and he goes, roll for memory. And then it's like, you're like, well, I have eidetic memory. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, yes, you remember this.
Yeah.
But, of course, Jordan would remember.
One thing I would recommend for you, Richard, if you don't mind double checking the dots for striking looks. I know Ivan does it. It may be a dot higher than normal. I'm doing that so I can save him some dots. 2 to 4. Striking looks. If someone wants to be intimidating or has high presence, striking looks will add to it. So let's say you're doing an intimidation roll. It may not always be presence, but let's say you're trying to intimidate the room. Presence, intimidation. You can also add striking looks. You can buy from 2 dots to 4 dots.
Okay.
No, it's either 2 or 4.
Okay, 2 or 4. So you can either use up of your 7, 2 dots for the merit. Now you can buy up later. I'll allow you.
How much survival do you have? Just asking.
1.
There's a merit.
Quite a few things in that category.
There's a merit on here called outdoorsman.
Oh.
You have to have 3 dots in survival to get it, so I don't know if you would want to rearrange your stuff. It says the character is a natural at making, or it refers to everything in the female sense.
It says her, sometimes it says his, sometimes it switches up.
95% of the time it's her.
Right.
The character is natural at making her way into the wilderness, and she has a knack for surviving situations that would prove deadly to most. She can find food and shelter where others see only a possibility of hunger and exposure to the harshness of the elements, and she knows the signs and subtle tells of outdoors as though they were her native tongue. Characters with this merit may ignore up to 3 points of penalties when environmental sources are applied to any roll involving the survival skill. If a survival roll is not penalized, then the character instead receives a +1 modifier to her dice roll. So that's a 2 dot merit.
I might up that to where it's the dots instead of +1, maybe +2.
Okay, so I had to have 3 survival for it?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's called what?
Outdoorsman, and it's a 2 dot merit. Now, striking looks, if you want to do that, it's 2 or 4. And if you only want to do 2 now, you can buy it up to 4 later. You don't have to do 4 now.
Okay.
Just keep in mind.
Is 2 though?
Yeah, just keep in mind if you do 4 now, and you have outdoorsman, that only gives you 1 dot to do something with.
I'll do 2 and 2.
Yeah. Like here's a good example. In Vampire, my guy's a Deva, so he's supposed to be the beautiful one, but he's got scars all over his face, so he wears a mask. But he stands out because he wears the mask. So he has 4. Jordan's character is like the really scary one, so he has 4. If Justin's character were to get striking looks, he's like a normal vampire, he would probably only get 2. He could buy 4 just to get it.
He would get 4 and it'd be more like they can't see because the mechanic real shadowy. It'd be more like they have a weird, unknowable knowledge of this guy can do something he's a little weird. It's more like supernatural. Because Justin's a culty like a bitch.
Well, if I go with just 2 and 2 right now, that leaves 3 more points. What can I even mess with that? I guess common sense. Or
Common sense is 4. Ambidextrous, did you look up that? How much? 3.
How much is the
Ambidextrous is 3.
memory?
Eidetic memory?
2, I believe.
Is there anything that costs as a 1 or no?
Ooh, I like this. Tolerance for...
Because I have it.
What is it?
Tolerance?
Barfly. It lets you, you can basically, like talk your way into any kind of, like, bar or stuff. Like, if you went to, if you went to a bar and they were having ladies' night, you could still probably talk your way in.
You're like, hey, man, look, can I get in? You're like, alright.
Okay. So, Eidetic memory. So I'll put that one down
Eidetic
for you.
memory was 2?
I feel like so.
I'll do the other one.
I can verify it. It's just. Or if you wanna
Eidetic
look.
memory. Or his photographic memory is what I put.
No, it's called eidetic memory.
EIDI.
Oh, it's EI?
I believe so.
EI?
I think I got on the thing too.
Just remember, there are. Oh, well, some of those may have. Prerequisites, skills.
With Eidetic memory?
Yeah, I think it may have a.
Oh, you might want animal affinity. If you have enough.
How many dots
2.
is that?
It's 1 to 3.
I've got 2.
How many?
No, you have 6. No.
No,
I'm talking about you.
Justin, what is a prerequisite for it?
One.
It's right under the name.
It's a skin changer. Page 20.
There isn't one.
What does it do?
One particular animal species never seems to mind your character's presence and reacts with remarkable favor when he tries to interact with them. Cats are always friendly, or wolves accept him as one of the pack. Each dot of this merit adds +1 modifier to all social roles made to influence or understand the chosen species of the animal. Characters may
That could be
purchase
good for
this merit
outdoorsman
multiple
stuff, too.
times to affect multiple species. So when you buy it, you have to pick the specific animal.
Can you give him, for this, since he's picking the merit,
How the choices, yeah.
can you give him where we are?
Kentucky. Or Kansas or something.
Are there
Just
wolves?
picture like a kind of a rural
Is there
country
gonna be
area.
wolves?
Rural country area.
Maybe.
Coyotes.
Okay.
I don't know if there are
Eidetic
wolves in-
memory.
Are there wolves in Kentucky? Yes.
Are there coyotes in Kentucky?
It's the gray wolf and the red wolf. Oh, wow. Today, neither wolf species can be found in Kentucky.
Ask if there's coyotes.
Are there coyotes in Kentucky?
Do you?
They're moving into the community.
How many dots do you have in crafts?
They don't threaten people.
And where?
Crafts.
Coyotes don't threaten.
2.
They do when you're out by yourself starving.
I was gonna say there's this thing called crafter's sense. Your character has a intuitive sense of her craft, born of experience. Good decision making is habitual for her when it comes to her work. The merit grants all the benefits of the common sense merit, but only regarding actions dealing with the character's craft specialty. The dice pool for the reflexive action to check the character's common sense is wits plus crafts instead of composure. At the storyteller's discretion, this gut check roll can be used to gauge the target number of successes on a extended action using the subject's specialty in craft. In addition to all other normal uses of the common sense merit, then if a character has both this merit and common sense merit, each may be used once per chapter.
The way I see that as
And you have to have 3 dots in crafts and a specialty for crafts.
the way I see that as is like, let's say you're let's say you
There's
you don't have
danger sense.
Yeah, there's danger sense. Let's say you don't have a. Let's say we're like, you're in a room, and we're like, there's somebody outside,
Emotional
and they're trying to get in, and you're like, we need a weapon, and you're like, I can make a weapon because your common sense, you're like, this and this and this will make it.
might make him seem somewhat.
That's up. That's up
I
to
can
you.
take away one of my
He doesn't
medicine
second
and throw it on, and I do have it
guess himself when
specialized
performing
with
delicate
automobiles.
surgery with a character's
So I have it specialized for that perk.
stemming from stress equal to his
Before I decide if I'm gonna do the identic memory though, I need to know what it needs for
while under
skills.
the effects of drugs,
and then
get
when they're
plus
done.
1 to all perception.
What is the Ginger needs no prerequisite for eidetic memory?
I don't know if I can have
I
it.
don't think there was one. Yeah, there was one. It's 2 dots.
So how much was it for the craft then?
Craft was.
You have to have 3,
Yeah,
Oh,
you have to
yeah.
have 3
And-
crafts and a specialty.
which he does have 1.
That's
So
it.
But how many was it for the merits?
3.
3 merits?
Yeah.
So if I got rid of my memory, I could have it.
Yeah,
And that'd be 7.
and that'd be perfect.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
It's that eidetic memory is not always necessary.
This one fits your character more. He's
What's
got-
it called again?
definitely.
It's called.
Crafter sense.
Justin, are you done with your?
I just need 1 more. Please help me.
Yeah, scroll through, look for 1 dot.
I already have tolerance for biology.
So I'm all done with my merits now.
Interdisciplinary
Now I'm at
specialty.
flaws.
Your character makes sense.
And
World
that is
between
entirely up to
different
you.
thought, she sees metaphorical connections between different fields of study and those.
You don't have to
Language.
have one. It's your choice if you do. I'm not going to make you
I'm
have
gonna
one.
have a different
That's my
language.
choice.
Yeah, like if you want to know.
If
also,
you want
like
a
if you spoke
flaw-
English, you want to know Spanish.
I can give you benefits of like
Meditative
more like
mind,
you kind of
What's
getting
that?
more experience in a
and
way.
effortlessly
where I give you- I tell you you
meditative
can have
state
another
when
special.
she chooses
But
and
just
is
keep in mind, like I
is
said,
all
the,
about
the flaws are normally either negative or they can be positive, but most of the time they say negative or double edged.
Alright, hold on. We're
Just-
in Kentucky, so
It's just
Kentucky languages.
if
Steady driver.
you yourself how you
Okay,
want
I
your
might
person to be.
Trained memory.
I'll leave it alone. If I get one as we go, I'll get one as we go.
That's
So then
I
it leaves
get
the
a
size,
bonus,
speed, and all that.
As long as you spent either
Alright,
a
so
scene,
did you get giant?
a full scene
And
or a day
what was it?
studying
Did they see how
worth of
many
study
dots it was?
perfectly.
Oh, was
as
I supposed
long
to
as,
put dots in something?
Your
Yes,
character
giant
can
is a
remember
merit.
an event of a single scene or a day's
I
work.
want to do the language.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot.
It's just what's it called?
Giant's a merit.
Yes.
Yeah, he wanted it. I was asked too many questions,
Sorry, Jordan.
and I kept getting interrupted.
You don't have to have striking looks. Outdoor man and crafter sense is way better. Especially
You
outdoor.
can also
Well,
buy
can't
striking
be-
looks later.
Can it
Yeah.
be for 2, or is it
You
more
can-
for giant?
You
I
can-
don't know what giant is.
I'm looking
You can
for it.
buy striking
Oh,
looks later.
giant is 4.
That at least I
Your character
I might
is
just
7 or more
say
feet
forget it
tall.
on the giant.
Your character is 7 or more feet tall and over 250 pounds. He has +1 to his size. Thus +1.
Nah, I'm not gonna lose. I want the outdoor man, and the other one costs 3.
There's also iron stamina.
You could still make your dude like tall as fuck,
1 or 1
big as
feet
fuck if you
tall.
wanted to. He just won't be
Okay.
that big.
I'm
He
looking
won't
for
be
language
7
and
foot, but you can make him
Language.
6 something.
Use language.
You can make him
I'm gonna
6'8".
pick
Hyphen. Yeah, just put
So what am I doing for
'cause
size?
That was the most it said in.
If you're not giant, he's size 5.
Speed?
The way to calculate speed is down there somehow.
It tells you. Let me see.
Speed is something +5.
Speed equals strength, which is 4, plus dexterity, which is 1. So 5.
Most
Plus
people,
5.
Most
So
people
10.
start out at 5.
So 10.
There's also iron stamina.
He's
iron
done with merits.
stomach.
Initiative mod?
Don't write that. Not
Defense
yet.
and armor?
Defense armor. You don't need to write that on your sheet yet.
Okay. And weapons and all that stuff, leave that alone.
Leave that alone.
What about health, willpower, morality?
Health. What is your size? Health is your size and stamina. Size is 5. What's your stamina?
Stamina is 3.
3. So that means you have 8 health.
Firefly. Your contact. It's mentor. Pleasing.
Is that 8? All right. What's the next one?
Willpower.
Willpower is resolve and composure.
Composure is also 2, so 4.
Okay, write that down.
Okay.
All right. Excuse me.
And then morality next.
Starting morality, it says on the sheet is 7. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I was thinking
So
8,
just-
but yeah, it's just circle it. How many did I give you for dropping to 6?
2.
Yeah, take 1 away. Since I'm making it 7. You want to drop to 5? Keep them.
Yes.
So what'd you do? What'd you change?
I changed it from starting humanity to 8 to 7.
Oh. Okay, I didn't even write that down yet. I need another pencil. This lead's.
Brian,
That's
so
okay.
put
My
any of
guy
the stuff
doesn't
up
seem
here.
to be very moral anyway. Seriously, Richard, look what I picked. He doesn't seem very moral.
Okay, concept of your character. What is your concept? What do you think?
What do you mean by concept?
It sounds like you're an outdoorsman.
Yeah.
So write down outdoorsman. You can always change it later. If it turns out he's even better, write survivalist.
So, Jordan,
One
what would
second.
mine be? I happen to like watching him playing
Chronicle, write countdown.
horror video games, but I tend to be slightly occulty. I like to steal people's cars that are in the family when I was younger. I have larceny. I'm used to sneaking out, I guess.
What's your question?
What the hell is my concept?
Your concept? You are a
Nerd.
no. You sound like you're a I was thinking bad boy, but you're more like you're a
Little rebel.
you're
Maybe a rebel.
you were a and I was gonna say juvenile delinquent. You're a delinquent.
Delinquent. That's good.
What? Okay. So now, before I was
Come
so
on.
rudely interrupted. Faction group name.
You can get the pyrokinesis.
No, he's not doing that. Virtue. Okay. Vice is the easy one to figure out. Virtue's different. I'll go to that in a second. Vice, work off the 7 deadly sins. Pride. Very prideful. Gluttony is you just always eat. You'll take whatever's yours as far as like food goes. Greed.
If you were gonna do gluttony as yours, I would probably get the iron stomach merit. Makes it where you can eat like even stuff that's like past its date.
Or not.
And then there's wrath. So if something happens, you're gonna hold a grudge and you're gonna make them pay. Wrath. There's others, I can't think of them right now.
Pride,
There's,
Already said
there's
that.
lust.
wrath, lust.
There's lust.
Pride, wrath, lust, greed, gluttony,
There's 7.
sloth.
Yeah, so you're super lazy. Like
One fed him.
I'll
That
actually
might work for my guy.
Pride, wrath,
Might be
Lust.
wrath.
gluttony, sloth,
Greed.
greed. I should know this because I deal with a bunch of those investments.
lust,
But I just have pride, wrath,
gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy.
and big.
Oh, maybe I'll put envy.
Yeah, because you steal.
So this is vice.
Yeah,
That's a
I am
vice.
envious.
Well, that could also be greed.
Oh, I could also be greedy. Yeah. But
Yeah.
no.
No, jealousy is too. It's a thing.
I think I'm gonna do envy because I'm envious of what other people have.
Okay. So what about virtue?
I'll type those in.
Is
That doesn't seem to write very well. It's really like they didn't turn the
greed.
Oh, you know what? It might be a recycle.
Okay. There's charity.
So,
Damn it. Hold on. It's loaded. There's charity, where charity is generosity, sharing, giving instead of receiving. It is altruism in its purest form, and rarely found in people that walk the streets of modern times. There's faith and belief. Fortitude. That's what I have in my character. Fortitude is possessed by those who wish to temper themselves with crucible fire. Every gain, every long-held belief or ability or skill is absolutely useless unless it's tested very. Basically, you're the first one in, last one out. I'll say it that way. That's what fortitude is. Hope. No matter what happens, it may be overcome. Justice. The innocent must be protected, and atrocities and cruelties must be punished. Prudence. Prudence is wisdom and restraint. Temperance. Temperance is moderation and balance in all things, and it is never wise to indulge in one extreme or the other. It's the opposite of greed. Okay.
What was the second one?
1 second. Second one was faith.
What was the next one?
Fortune.
Is that the one that's first one and last one out?
Yes. If you want, it doesn't matter if you get the same thing as him. If you believe it, it's for your character.
It just.
That's also justice. The innocent must be protected, and atrocities and cruelties must be punished.
What was charity again? That was sharing stuff? Or rationing?
Charity is generosity, sharing, giving instead of receiving. It is, willpower gained when the character risks him or herself to help another in spite of any losses that may be suffered.
It's charity?
Mm-hmm.
that didn't seem to fit my character. I had hopes.
Yeah, that kind of fits with you watching stuff. You're like, because there's heroes. I can see it. All right. So hope, charity, fortitude.
Do we have to put anything down for factions?
Did you
and
virtue?
group
No, faction or group name? No. Y'all did
Vice,
vices,
everything.
right?
Yeah, I put envy. You did
Wrath.
wrath. That makes sense. You did pride. That makes sense too. You are a jock. They are very prideful.
All right.
Seems like we did a good job
Everybody's
getting our
done with
shit.
their creation.
I did
Anybody
way
doing
better on
flaws?
getting my shit.
I'm not doing a flaw.
No flaws. Okay.
Flaw. Wait.
Come up with a name.
I think I might pick up. I have a name.
Lara Croft.
No. It has nothing to do with a video game.
You sure?
Samuel Adams.
Wait, really?
No.
That was good.
Winston
Sean
Jameson.
Sean Weston.
Sean Spencer.
Sean Weston. I was like,
Okay.
thinking,
So,
what flaws are
is
there?
did you do background and stuff for the
Barely.
like on your other sheet that you were doing to do? Okay. All right. If then with that is character creation over.
I would like to know the flaws. I don't know.
Oh, that's up to you. I'm not pulling up a list of flaws.
I'm not doing
I'm
it.
not a hero. What is that?
That's
Oh.
more like 14 bias.
It's not a flaw to want to survive. Oh well, I'll think about it later.
All right. Yeah, you can always get one later. All right. In that instance, I will stop this.